The Second World War brought huge destruction onto humanity. Over 60 million people died. A massive amount of civilians were killed for no reason. The world's infrastructure was destroyed, and the people that managed to survive mostly lost their homes and had nothing to eat. However, with the traumatic stories that were created, some stories tell of heroic deeds, one of which is the battle for Pavlov's house. The battle for Pavlov's house was a major battle during the siege of Stalingrad. Sergeant Yakov Pavlov was ordered by Joseph Stalin to hold a 4-story apartment building with his 25-man platoon to the last man. The apartment was a strategically important position, as the apartment watched over the 9th January Square, which was a large portion of the city. It was also located near the Volga, so capturing it would give the Germans a huge advantage on the battleground. The German army had already captured 90% of Stalingrad when they arrived at the apartment buildings. During his time to prepare, Pavlov ordered his men to set up a large amount of barbed wire and mines on the square the Germans would be advancing from. He also fortified every window with heavy machine guns so he could rain fire down upon the invaders. On the roof, anti-tank soldiers were positioned. From the high standpoint, the AT fires could penetrate the top armor of the German Panzer IVs, making them an easy target. The German tanks could not elevate their turrets high enough for counter-fire. Even while incredibly outnumbered, Pavlov made sure that the civilians who lived in the apartment were brought to safety. He sent them into the basements in which they were safe against German fire. His men dug a small trench to connect to the building outside of the apartment so they could have a standpoint there too. At the time, the Wehrmacht was thought to be invincible, as they managed to conquer most of Europe with nothing being able to stand firm against them. The order to defend the apartment was pretty much a death sentence for Pavlov and his men. The battle lasted from the 27th of September to the 25th of November. For comparison, that was longer than the invasion of France. One apartment building held out longer than an entire country could. The other difference between the invasion of France and the battle for Pavlov's house was that the defenders actually won. For his deeds, Pavlov was given the honorary title of Hero of the Soviet Union. After the battle, the Soviets led a massive counteroffensive which turned the German blitzkrieg against themselves. A wall of the apartment still stands today on which it reads, "We will defend you, dear Stalingrad." It's sad to know that American history books do not include the battle, as they were foes in the Cold War. The battle for Pavlov House was arguably the most intense battle in history.